Hi, my name is Brandon Nelson, and this is my critical assignment. Division I men's basketball centers represent a unique athletic population due to their positional demands, physical size, and psychological pressures. Centers are often relied on for rebounding, interior defense, screening, and physical presence, yet they may not receive more recognition compared to perimeter players who might be more flashy or can show off a little more. I chose population because centers experience unique cognitive, physical, and psychological challenges, including role acceptance, confidence fluctuations, stress related to foul trouble, motivation, when offensive involvement is inconsistent. As a former basketball player and aspiring coach, I'm particularly interested in helping post players maximize both mental resilience and performance consistency within a team-oriented environment. This first article is about self-confidence in sport and how it is foundational to understand how confidence influences performance, particularly in high-pressure athletic environments. Their research distinguishes between trait confidence, which reflects an athlete's general belief in their ability, and their state confidence, which fluctuates based on performance and situational factors. This distinction is especially important for Division I basketball centers, whose confidence can vary significantly due to missed close-range shots, foul trouble, or reduced offensive involvement. Their work supports cognitive interventions such as positive self-talk, mastery experiences, and role-based confidence building, which are critical for helping centers maintain confidence and emotional control despite performance variability. This source is important because it provides evidence-based strategies to help centers remain mentally resilient and confident in a very physically demanding role. For these next two sources, Martin Gill's research examines the relationship among sport confidence, self-efficacy, anxiety, and performance, demonstrating that higher confidence and self-efficacy are associated with lower competitive anxiety and improved performance outcomes. This research is particularly relevant for Division I centers who often experience high anxiety due to their physical pressure, officiating, and mistakes near the basket. Their findings support the use of psychological interventions aimed at enhancing self-efficacy through goal setting, repetition of successful behaviors, and confidence reinforcement. By strengthening confidence, centers are better able to manage anxiety and perform more consistently under competitive pressure. This source is critical because it links the confidence and anxiety to performance and reinforcing the need for structured mental skill training in post players in specific. Windhorst's article provides applied insight into how modern elite big men train both mentally and physically to meet the evolving demands of basketball. This article highlights how big men, in specific professionals, how they must remain confident, adaptable, and mentally resilient despite reduced post touches and increased expectations for screens, rim protection, and defensive versatility. For Division I centers, this source reinforces the importance of developing mental toughness, role acceptance, and confidence. The physical and social environment of the Division I men's basketball center strongly influence motivation, arousal, stress, and anxiety. Physically, centers compete in a very high contact environment with heavy training loads, travel demands, and limited recovery, especially when on the road. When practices are structured and recovery sources are available, this environment can increase confidence and emotional control. However, poor recovery or excessive workouts can elevate fatigue, stress, and anxiety. Socially, coaching behaviors and team culture play a key role in reinforcement, because many center contributions such as screening, rebounding, and rim protection are not reflected in the box scores and not viewed as winning plays, but they really are. And despite this, and due to this, motivation can decline if feedback from coaches is decreased. A social environment that emphasizes role clarity and reinforces effort-based behaviors helps centers regulate arousal, stay engaged, and remain confident regardless of offensive opportunities. Family culture plays a crucial role in shaping motivation, stress, and management, and emotion regulation in Division I men's basketball centers. Athletes from supportive family environments that emphasize discipline, resilience, and faith often display stronger intrinsic motivation and better coping skills during adversity. Positive family support can reduce anxiety, reinforce confidence during periods of limited playing time, or performance struggles. In contrast, families that place excessive pressure on the athlete on performance outcomes may increase stress and fear of failure. Understanding family culture allows coaches and professionals to individualize psychological support per player and reinforce identity beyond basketball and promote the long-term resilience and emotional stability that the centers need. Understanding the physical, social, and family environments of Division I men's basketball centers allows coaches and sport professionals to be able to apply targeted psychological strategies that support performance and well-being. By structuring practices to manage physical demands and emphasizing recovery, centers can maintain optimal arousal levels and reduce fatigue-related stress. Socially, reinforcing effort-based behaviors such as screening, rebounding, and rim protection helps sustain intrinsic motivation and confidence even when scoring opportunities are very limited. Incorporating routines and breathing techniques support emotional regulation after physical contact, fouls, or mistakes. Additionally, recognizing an athlete's family culture enables individualized motivational approaches that reinforce identity beyond basketball, reduce identity, and promote resilience. When these environmental factors are used, centers are better equipped to manage stress, maintain focus, and perform consistently within their role. Factor 1, motivation and mental toughness, are critical because psychological factors for Division I basketball centers, due to physical nature and their role and inconsistent offensive involvement, centers are often asked to impact the game through effort-based actions such as screening, rebounding, rim protection, which requires strong intrinsic motivation and role acceptance that many other positions aren't. That's not their role. That's not what they have to do. Mental toughness allows centers to maintain focus and confidence after missed shots, fouls, or physical contact. By emphasizing effort, resilience, and controllable behaviors rather than statistics, coaches can help centers develop a tough, next play mindset that supports constant behavior under pressure. Next factor is stress and anxiety management. Division I centers experience unique stress related to constant physical contact, foul trouble, and missed assignments. Role pressure can increase anxiety, particularly when centers feel responsible for defensive breakdowns or missed closeout opportunities. Without proper coping strategies, elevated stress and anxiety can disrupt arousal level, decision-making, and confidence. Teaching breathing techniques, pre-play routines, and cognitive reframing strategies help centers manage pressure, regulate emotions, and remain composed during these high-stake moments in competition, and especially in close games. Recovery behaviors, fatigue, and sleep quality. Recovery behaviors and sleep quality play a major role in both the physical and psychological performance for Division I centers. Due to constant contact, heavy training loads, and travel demands, centers are at an increased risk for physiological and mental fatigue. Inadequate recovery and poor sleep can elevate stress, impair focus, and reduce emotional regulation. Educating centers on sleep hygiene, recovery routines, and fatigue management strategies help support motivation, cognitive clarity, and consistent performance through the season. Environmental and cultural factors strongly influence the psychological development of Division I basketball centers. The physical and social team environment, including coaching communication and teammate support, shapes motivation, confidence, and stress response. Family culture further impacts how centers cope with pressure, adversity, and expectations. Environments that reinforce effort, resilience, and personal growth rather than solely performance outcomes promotes emotional stability and long-term physiological development. Understanding these factors allow coaches and sport professionals to tailor support strategies that enhance confidence, resilience, and role satisfaction. The verse I chose for my mission statement is James 1:22, which says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves, do what it says." This verse reflects my beliefs that leadership and coaching are tied together very well and demonstrates through action, not just words. It motivates me as a model to model these behaviors and what I expect from athletes, including discipline, consistency, humility, and effort. In my calling, this verse reminds me to actively apply the principles I teach, whether that involves developing mental toughness, supporting athletes with adversity, or through a positive team culture that is rooted in accountability and overall growth. My course takeaways. One of the most valuable takeaways from this course that I learned is a deeper understanding of how psychological factors directly influence athletic performance and well-being. Learn how motivation, stress, anxiety, recovery, and environmental influences interact has changed how I view athlete development, especially for specialized roles like Division I basketball centers. Moving forward, I plan to apply strategies such as effort-based reinforcement, stress management routines, and individualized motivational approaches within my coaching practice in the future. I am particularly interested in continuing to learn more about mindfulness, recovery behaviors, and how environment and culture shape long-term resilience and performance. This course has reinforced the importance of developing athletes mentally, not just physically, and emotionally as well. And these are my references. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for teaching this class.